I'm going to quickly talk you through the prepare the heel section of our lounge sock knitting pattern. So this is where you introduce the waist yarn for 2 rows. It's just used on the back 11 stitches, which will become your heel section. So you literally just start knitting on the right side of your knitting with the waist yarn. Once you've knit that row, you turn the work around and you purl it, purling all the stitches. Once you've worked the purl row, you are finished with the waist yarn. You now continue as you were, using your main colour, colour B, and working all the stitches in the round. Continue to follow the pattern, knitting 2 stitches together as instructed to create the shaping around the foot, and then working the length of your foot and the toe section. You'll come back to rework the waist yarn section and create your heel at the end. Once you've finished knitting the foot of your sock, you basically have a straight tube of knitting. We're coming back to the heel as the final step now. This bit feels brutal and really scary, I'll admit, but basically, very carefully, you're going to cut your waist yarn stitches. You are not going to cut your actual stitches, the ones in your main colour. You are just snipping through your waist yarn stitches. When you've snipped through them all, you are going to use one of your double pointed needles to pick up the actual stitches in your main colour, ignoring the waist yarn and removing it completely. Use one needle to pick up the stitches from your knit row and another to pick up the stitches from your purl row. You're then going to continue to follow the pattern using colour A, which is your accent colour. You pick up a stitch from what the pattern calls the corner of your heel. This is just the section between your 2 needles where you've got an opening. You can pick up a stitch there. You knit across your live stitches on the needle, grab a new double pointed needle, pick up a stitch from the other corner, knit across the live stitches on your second needle. Follow your pattern to redistribute your stitches from the top half of your sock. So these ones are ankle side as opposed to the ones that will sit at the bottom of your foot. Once your stitches are spread out across 3 needles, you begin decreasing as instructed in the pattern. You're effectively decreasing at both sides of the heel, so twice on the sole of your sock and once at either end on the top of your sock. When you have the correct amount of stitches after your decrease rows, you simply snip your working yarn and thread it through the remaining stitches, cinching it to tighten it. Secure your loose yarn, weave in your ends. You should have a lovely decrease, almost a diamond shape that forms the heel of your sock.